Y&R Mega Shockwave, Kane's night with Phyllis detonates his secret agenda as Lily stumbles into the truth. Meanwhile, Adam's love life teeters. Nick launches a high-stakes hunt with Detective Annie, and Genoa City faces a chain reaction no one saw coming. Genoa City is on the edge of eruption this week as scandals, betrayals, and long-buried agendas collide. Kane's risky seduction plan backfires spectacularly when Phyllis turns the tables, and Lily arrives at the exact moment that destroys every second chance he thought he had. Across town, Adam faces growing pressure to break free from Chelsea before their storyline completely implodes, and fans are sounding the alarm on what happens if he doesn't. But the emotional chaos is just one layer of the storm. Nick Newman joins forces with newcomer Detective Annie Stewart to hunt Burrow, uncover Matt's hostage situation, and push deeper into a criminal maze that threatens multiple families. With relationships fracturing, alliances shifting, and new dangers rising, every storyline is accelerating toward a showdown. This is the kind of week where one wrong move could rewrite the entire future of Genoa City. Welcome to Celebrity Gossip 24 Hours, where the drama unfolds and the stories captivate. Join us as we delve into the intriguing world of Young and the Restless, revealing the untold tales and hidden truths behind the headlines. Y&R Shockwave, Kane's secret agenda erupts after his night with Phyllis, and Lily faces a hard truth. Tuesday, November 18, 2025, The Young and the Restless turns up the tension as dangerous plots collide, loyalties blur, and a supposedly harmless fling unleashes major consequences across Genoa City and Los Angeles. The latest episode unfolds like a chain reaction, connecting the fates of the Newmans, the Abbotts, and the Ashby Winters family in ways none of them see coming. Noah's disappearance sends Nick and Victor into panic mode. In Los Angeles, Nick Newman is on the phone with his father, trying to keep his voice level despite the fear clawing at him. His son, Noah, walked out of the hospital against medical advice, and did it without protection. On top of that, Nick drops a bomb he's been avoiding. Noah has been secretly involved with Sienna Bacall, who has her own complicated history and motives. If the two are together right now, they could both be in serious danger. Victor wastes no time. Hearing that Matt Clark has resurfaced and is operating under a new identity leaves him visibly stunned. Clark has always blamed Victor and Sharon for his downfall, and now he may be using Noah to settle the score. Even worse, Nick believes Detective Burrows, supposedly assigned to help him, might actually be working for Matt. Victor vows to push Michael Baldwin to investigate everything, Clark, Burrows, and anyone else who might be part of this twisted setup. Lily gets hard truths, and a warning she didn't expect. Back in Genoa City, Nikki spots Lily at Society and tries to get her perspective on the escalating Newman chaos. Lily is distracted, her phone lights up with a call from her daughter, and the conversation shifts to her father, Kane. Lily admits she's been cautiously reconnecting with him, only to realize things are still painfully complicated. She wants to believe Kane is trying to be a better man. But deep down, she's starting to fear she's ignoring red flags that could come back to haunt her. And she's right. Kane and Phyllis turn up the heat, but only one of them means it. Meanwhile, in Phyllis's hotel suite, sparks fly in ways neither of them pretend to resist. Phyllis pulls Kane close without hesitation, and within moments the two are tangled up in a fiery, impulsive encounter that's been building for weeks. But once the passion cools, an uncomfortable truth surfaces. Phyllis is in her usual teasing mode, joking that their slow burn just turned into an inferno, but Kane is oddly serious. When she asks what comes next, he dodges, acting strangely unsure. And when she steps into the shower, he finally reveals what's really going on. Kane begins snooping. He rifles through the suite, finds her laptop, and desperately tries to crack her password, clearly searching for something specific. Phyllis, sensing the silence, peeks out and catches him in the act, but quietly slips back into the bathroom, letting him sweat. Kane, realizing he's overplayed his hand, shuts the laptop and forces himself to rejoin her, the weight of his deception written all over his face. Jack and Nikki confront the Victor problem. Across society, Jack meets with Nikki, and the two share concerns about both Kane and Victor's escalating schemes. Jack warns that Victor's latest power moves could cause collateral damage for people Nikki cares about. Nikki insists she'll intervene if she must, but Jack isn't convinced Victor can be stopped once he sets a plan in motion. As tensions simmer around them, Lily tries to defend Kane to her daughter Maddie, but even Lily can tell her words aren't landing. Maddie's trust in her father is gone, and Lily is starting to understand why. Lily walks straight into Victor's crosshairs. Later, Lily visits Victor at the ranch, confronting him about rumors that he stole Kane's cutting-edge program. Victor doesn't deny it. In fact, he surprises her by calling the technology dangerous and insisting it should never fall into the wrong hands. Stranger still, Lily finds herself agreeing with him. Victor promises he would never weaponize it against her company, but he admits Jabot is another story. When Adam arrives, Lily tactfully exits, leaving the Newmans to strategize. Victor updates Adam on the danger Matt Clark poses, ordering him to compile a full dossier on Clark's crimes and uncover how he rebuilt his life as Mitch Bacall. Adam suggests joining Nick in LA, but Victor urges caution, for now. Nick and Sharon fear the worst. In Los Angeles, Nick and Sharon regroup in their hotel room. Both are convinced Noah and Sienna are either together or being held, and if Matt Clark has taken them, the cost could be deadly. Nick arranges a meeting with Detective Burrows, despite his suspicions about the man. Sharon wants to come, but Nick refuses, determined to keep her out of Matt's reach. The final blow, Lily's heart shatters again. Back in Genoa City, Lily sits alone at the club, torn between reaching out to Kane or protecting her fragile progress. She thinks about the promises Kane made, the kind that once meant everything. But fate spares her no illusions. As she gets up to leave, she freezes. Kane and Phyllis stroll down the stairs hand in hand, looking very much like a new couple. Lily doesn't need an explanation. The truth she tried to avoid is now staring her in the face. Kane hasn't changed. And this time, she finally sees it. Today's next update. Y&R shakeup. Why Adam must break free from Chelsea before their storyline flatlines, explosive reasons fans can't ignore. For months now, the Young and the Restless fandom has been buzzing with one increasingly loud opinion: Adam Newman needs to end things with Chelsea Lawson, and he needs to do it fast. What started as a questionable reunion has spiraled into what many viewers see as a creative dead end, leaving fans frustrated and the storyline running on fumes. But how did Adam and Chelsea, two characters known for their fire, flaws, and unpredictable choices, end up in one of the most stagnant storylines on the show? And why are so many viewers convinced their reunion was a mistake from the moment it began? Let's break down the reasons fans are calling for an immediate breakup and why the current romantic setup may be holding multiple characters, and the show itself, back. A reunion built on bad decisions, not real emotion. Adam and Chelsea's latest romantic reset didn't develop naturally. In fact, it was born from chaos, not connection. Months ago, the two traveled together to check on their son, Connor, who was battling increasingly difficult OCD struggles. This emotional storyline should have strengthened their co-parenting bond, not sabotaged their lives. But one impulsive night, fueled by stress and a bit too much whiskey, they crossed a line that fractured their relationships with Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra, two people they claimed to care about deeply. The Baltimore betrayal felt abrupt and strangely out of character, even for a soap known for messy love triangles. Many viewers felt the cheating wasn't just unnecessary, it was contrived, designed with a single purpose: to blow up two popular couples so Adam and Chelsea could be pushed back together. And the fallout was brutal. Billy tried, genuinely, to forgive Chelsea, but her choice cut too deep, especially since Adam is the last man Billy would ever accept being replaced by. Meanwhile, Sally attempted to be compassionate toward Adam, but even she couldn't ignore the growing sense that things were being steered toward a Chatham reunion whether the audience wanted it or not. The return of Chatham, a choice fans weren't asking for. While Chelsea and Adam do have a dedicated group of fans who have always supported their pairing, the broader reaction online didn't indicate a massive demand for this reunion. Instead, sentiment seemed overwhelmingly tilted toward other matchups. Billy and Chelsea had built steady fan support, with viewers appreciating Billy's growth around her. Adam and Sally, meanwhile, had become one of the hottest, most talked about couples on the show: electric chemistry, sharp banter, genuine vulnerability, and a tragic shared history. Yet despite the buzz around those relationships, Y&R charted a different course, abruptly steering Adam back to Chelsea. Behind-the-scenes chatter, just rumor, not fact, suggested that the writers were eager to satisfy actress preference and nostalgia. And whether or not that speculation is true, it certainly reflects the confusion viewers have felt. Why resurrect a pairing that hadn't been relevant in years, especially at the cost of two stronger, more popular couples? The answer may never be clear, but the consequences are boring, bland, and going nowhere fast. The biggest complaint? Adam and Chelsea are dull. Shockingly dull. These are two characters who, separately, have delivered some of the biggest, wildest storylines in the show. Chelsea is a former con artist with a talent for dangerous schemes. Adam is a master manipulator with a complicated moral code and a fiery rivalry with Victor. Together, you'd expect sparks, whether romantic, chaotic, destructive, or thrilling. Instead, nothing. The bulk of their scenes revolve around repetitive conversations about work, rehashing Victor's instructions and frustrations, calm parenting chats, polite disagreements, zero passion or heat. They shared a single love scene months ago, and it was so forgettable that many fans barely realized it happened. Even worse, their union has dimmed their individual personalities. Adam no longer seems like the rebellious Newman black sheep, he just complains and complies. Chelsea no longer feels unpredictable, just domesticated and directionless. In short, the pairing hasn't reignited either character. Instead, it has smothered both. The real missed opportunity: Adam and Sally's unfinished story. While Chatham flounders, another pairing continues to dominate fan wishlists: Adam and Sally. These two weren't just compatible, they were scorching. Their romance blended passion, angst, redemption, and heartbreak, especially after the devastating loss of their daughter, Ava. Their scenes exploring grief were some of the rawest the show had delivered in years. So when Adam suddenly forgot the anniversary of Ava's death, something longtime viewers know he would never do, fans immediately recognized it as a plot device, not a believable moment. Adam and Sally's story had legs. It had emotional weight. It had unresolved feelings. It had fan investment. Pairing Sally with Billy has created a dynamic that feels more like a caretaker relationship than a romance. Sally spends more time babysitting Billy's impulses than enjoying him as a partner. And while they get occasional passion, there's a maternal, stabilizing element to the pairing that doesn't scream soulmates. Meanwhile, Adam and Sally had that rare storm meets fire chemistry that soaps thrive on. Why a Chatham breakup could save the show's momentum. Fans aren't rooting for destruction, they're rooting for better storytelling. Ending Adam and Chelsea now would open the door to 1. A return of Adam's edge. Whether he's fighting Victor, protecting Sally, or making questionable moral choices, Adam shines when he has conflict, desire, and a fire under him. 2. A path for Chelsea to rediscover her spark. Chelsea's best stories involve her hustle, her schemes, and her emotional complexity, not playing workwife to Adam or being trapped in predictable conversations. 3. A fresh romantic reboot for both characters. Adam could reconnect with Sally, or embark on an entirely new romance that taps into his darker charisma. Chelsea has great potential too, but it's being wasted in a pairing that drags her down instead of lifting her up. 4. More compelling rivalry opportunities. Adam vs. Billy, Adam vs. Nick, Adam vs. Victor. These plots thrive when Adam is single, complicated, and making messy choices. 5. A ratings boost. History shows that when YNR leans into fan-favorite couples, ratings climb. When it ignores the audience completely, ratings dip. Guess which direction the Chatham reunion pushed things? Why the timing is perfect for a shake-up. There's growing talk that new producers and behind-the-scenes changes are underway. That often means fresh story direction, reevaluating stale dynamics, and rebalancing romantic pairings. If ever there were a time to reshape Adam's storyline, it's now. The show could undo the Baltimore mistake. They've rewritten bigger scandals before. They could have Adam end things with Chelsea. They could revisit his unresolved emotional connection to Sally. They could even give the Adam/Sally baby storyline a second chance, a storyline that captivated the audience before it was cut short. Soap fans love second chances, when they feel earned. And Adam and Sally would feel earned. Adam and Chelsea simply do not. Final verdict: the Chatham story has run its course. The writing, the chemistry, the fan sentiment, and the character potential are all pointing in the same direction. This pairing isn't working. Adam and Chelsea aren't exciting. They're not passionate. They're not dramatic. They're not even particularly romantic. They're simply stuck. And with characters this dynamic, stuck is the worst place they can be. If YNR wants to reignite fan enthusiasm, give Adam a real storyline again, rescue Chelsea from narrative limbo, and give viewers a romance worth investing in. There's only one solution. End Chatham now, and let these characters breathe again. Today's next update. YNR shock twist. Kane's seduction scheme blows up as Phyllis outsmarts him. Lily walks in at the worst moment. The Young and the Restless delivered a sizzling and unexpected twist on the November 18th episode, one that flipped the power dynamic between Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers on its head. While the night began with flirtation and heat, it quickly turned into a dangerous battle of manipulation, hidden motives, and a shocking moment of exposure that left Lily reeling. What looked like a simple seduction turned out to be anything but. In fact, viewers quickly learned that Kane wasn't being seduced, he was doing the seducing. Kane's real mission: recover the stolen AI program. Kane has been quietly spiraling over one pressing question: who stole his cutting-edge AI program? All signs point to Phyllis, or at least, that's the conclusion Kane can't shake. And on Tuesday's episode, he decided to get answers in the most strategic and risky way possible, by turning on the charm. Phyllis walked right into it. The tension between the two finally exploded as they made their way up to Phyllis's hotel suite. She thought she was in control, confidently leading him upward with a smile and a promise she'd been wanting to do this for a long time. And for a moment, it looked like Phyllis had the upper hand. But Kane wasn't there for romance. He was there for intel. After the passion, the plot begins. Once the clothes hit the floor and the adrenaline faded, Phyllis believed she and Kane had finally crossed into something more than flirtation. She seemed almost relieved, telling him she was glad their relationship had progressed. But Kane's mind was elsewhere. Barely moments after their encounter, Kane suggested they continue their conversation in the shower. Phyllis headed into the bathroom, leaving Kane free to snoop around her room. And he wasted no time. He grabbed her laptop and tried cracking her password, convinced she was hiding the stolen AI software. His inner monologue made things crystal clear. Phyllis messed with his system, and now it was his turn to mess with hers. But Kane underestimated Phyllis Summers, a fatal mistake. Phyllis sees everything, and says nothing. Unbeknownst to Kane, Phyllis spotted him meddling with her laptop. She saw exactly what he was doing, and instead of reacting, she played it cool and brilliantly. From the bathroom, she called out to him, inviting him into the shower. Kane snapped the laptop shut and rushed in, completely unaware that his cover was blown. Now, both of them are manipulating each other. Both think they're in control. And both are about to be very, very wrong. The seduction game turns toxic. With both players running their own agendas, the sparks between them have officially turned volatile. Kane is convinced Phyllis stole his AI project. Phyllis now knows Kane seduced her to get answers. Instead of bringing them closer, their night together has set the stage for a massive fallout. Not only is Kane risking his career and dignity, he's also destroying every chance he had of repairing his personal life. Because at the worst possible moment, Lily walked in. Lily catches Kane and Phyllis, no questions needed. Just when Kane thought he was one step ahead, fate dropped a bomb. As Kane and Phyllis descended the GCAC staircase together, laughing and glowing from their night upstairs, Lily arrived. One look at Phyllis's barely there dress was all Lily needed. The understanding hit her instantly. Kane hasn't changed at all. Whatever progress they'd made, whatever hope Lily held on to, evaporated. For her, this wasn't just a one-night mistake. It was proof that Kane was back to his old habits, scheming, lying, and using women to get what he wants. Phyllis gained the advantage. Kane lost everything he was trying to protect. And Lily walked away with the painful clarity she'd been avoiding. What happens next? With both Kane and Phyllis playing each other, this storyline is about to explode. Kane still wants his AI program back, but now Phyllis knows his every move. Phyllis may have her own motives, and Kane just made himself the perfect target. And Lily? She's finally done watching Kane repeat old patterns. The seduction wasn't Phyllis's. It wasn't Kane's. It was a trap neither of them saw coming. Stay tuned, this dangerous dance is only just beginning. Today's next update. YNR News shock, Nick teams up with new detective Annie Stewart to take down Burrow and track Matt's hostages. A dangerous game of deception is spiraling out of control on the young and the restless, and two very unlikely allies may be the only hope of stopping it. New spoilers reveal that Nick Newman and Detective Annie Stewart are poised to join forces, setting the stage for a high-stakes mission to expose corrupt cop Detective Burrow and locate Matt Clark's missing captives. With lives hanging in the balance, a new chapter of the Matt Clark saga is about to explode. Nick and Sharon's growing distrust of Burrow. Nick and Sharon Newman had a bad feeling about Detective Burrow from the moment he stepped into Matt Clark's twisted storyline. His answers were vague, his behavior evasive, and his attitude toward the investigation raised more questions than it answered. But now, suspicion has turned into full-blown alarm. Burrow isn't just sloppy, he appears to be working hand-in-hand with Matt, feeding him updates while covering his tracks inside the police department. When Sharon and Nick realized they couldn't trust the detective assigned to the case, they knew they needed someone who wasn't under Matt's control. And that's where the newcomer arrives. Detective Annie Stewart arrives at the perfect time. On November 20th, Detective Annie Stewart officially enters the storyline, exactly when Nick launches a fresh attempt to uncover what really happened to Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall. Unlike Burrow, who seems determined to bury every lead, Stewart has earned a reputation for transparency and integrity. She's sharp, disciplined, and not afraid to go up against dirty officers. In short, she's exactly who Nick needs. Nick wastes no time taking his concerns to Stewart, laying out every red flag he's observed, from Burrow's suspicious delays to his obvious lack of urgency. Stewart listens, connects the dots, and realizes she may have stumbled into a case far bigger than she expected. Because Burrow isn't just incompetent. He's involved. Is Burrow already on Stewart's radar? There's growing buzz that Annie Stewart may have already been tracking Burrow for misconduct before Nick ever approached her. If that's the case, Nick might be giving her the missing piece she needs to push forward. Together, they develop a risky plan: corner Burrow, cut off Matt's inside access to law enforcement, and force Burrow to disclose what he knows about the missing captives. It won't be easy. Burrow is slippery, deeply embedded, and terrified of crossing Matt Clark. But he may also be the only living person, besides Matt, who knows exactly where Noah and Sienna are being held. Noah and Sienna's terrifying captivity. Meanwhile, Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall are trapped in a hidden location under Matt's control, unsure if rescue is coming. Their attempts to escape are complicated by Matt's unpredictability and Burrow's cooperation with him behind the scenes. Every minute counts. Every delay puts them in more danger. And unless someone cracks the case soon, their situation may turn deadly. Noah and Sienna may try to free themselves, but the odds are stacked against them. They need outside help, and Nick is determined to deliver it. Will Burrow crack under pressure? Nick and Detective Stewart's biggest advantage isn't force, it's leverage. Burrow may be corrupt, but he's not fearless. Faced with exposure, suspension, or even prison time, he may flip to save himself. That could lead him to reveal everything: where he's been meeting Matt, how deep the corruption goes, and, most importantly, the exact location of Noah and Sienna. If Stewart pushes hard enough and Nick backs her with insider knowledge of Matt's past, Burrow could break completely. And if he does, the race to rescue Noah and Sienna will finally begin. A new detective, a new turning point. Detective Annie Stewart is already shaping up to be one of the most important characters in this storyline. With her arrival, the Matt Clark plot takes a dramatic turn, one that shifts power away from corruption and back toward justice. Nick and Stewart working together may be the breakthrough fans have been waiting for. Stick around, because the hunt for Matt's hostages is about to reach its most intense phase yet. Today's next update. YNR November 18th recap: Kane falls into Phyllis's trap, and Lily walks in at the worst possible moment. The November 18th episode of The Young and the Restless delivered one of the season's most devastating turns for Kane Ashby, a moment that may have permanently shattered every attempt he's made at rebuilding his life. What began as a night of risky choices ended with Lily witnessing something she can never unsee, leaving Kane with nothing but the wreckage of his own decisions. Kane slips back into old patterns. Kane stepped into the evening already carrying a storm of doubt, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. He's been pushing back against accusations tied to the AI scandal, trying to convince Lily, and himself, that he's not the man who once lived on instinct and half-truths. But when Phyllis crossed his path, she used the perfect combination of charm and pressure to pull out a version of Kane he's been fighting to bury. Phyllis framed their connection as harmless fun, the kind of escape Kane deserved. And for someone who's been cornered from every angle, that kind of validation was intoxicating. Their chemistry reignited with alarming speed, blurring every boundary Kane had promised to protect. But the real twist came after the heat of the moment. While Phyllis stepped away, Kane's suspicions surged. He went straight to her personal space, rifling through drawers and even trying to crack into her laptop, convinced she might be tied to the digital scheme that put him on Victor's radar. The conflict in him was unmistakable, attraction laced with distrust, desire fused with paranoia. This wasn't a man making a mistake. This was a man unraveling. Lily finally follows her heart until it breaks. On the other side of town, Lily faced her own emotional maze. She had defended Kane against outsiders, wrestled with her lingering feelings, and even allowed herself to wonder whether he might truly be ready for redemption. After everything they've survived, love, betrayal, rebuilding, she approached the night cautiously hopeful, ready to gently test whether a second chance was still possible. But all of that changed the moment she arrived at the GCAC. Lily stepped into the lobby just in time to see Kane and Phyllis heading down together, laughing, close, still wrapped in the kind of intimacy that tells a story without a single word. She didn't need an explanation. She didn't ask for one. The betrayal hit instantly and completely. In that moment, Lily's hope collapsed. Why this moment hit so hard? For Lily, the sight wasn't just a romantic betrayal, it was absolute confirmation that Kane hasn't changed. While she was weighing the future, he was repeating the past. And the quiet devastation in her reaction showed that some lines, once crossed, don't get erased. For Kane, the consequences are even more dangerous. He allowed himself to be pulled back into the impulsive mindset that once destroyed his life. Worse, he let suspicion and desire coexist in the same breath, seducing Phyllis while questioning whether she set him up. That kind of internal conflict is volatile, and Phyllis knows exactly how to exploit it. She isn't trying to save Kane. She's steering him. The storm that follows. Lily's silence as she walked away may be the most powerful response possible. No yelling. No accusation. Just heartbreak, the kind Kane can't charm or justify his way out of. Now the fallout will stretch far beyond their relationship. Kane has handed Phyllis emotional leverage, whether he realizes it or not. Lily is done protecting him, and that leaves Kane exposed. Victor's wider game gains a new wild card, because Kane's instability makes him extremely easy to manipulate. And the AI investigation becomes even murkier, with Kane now convinced Phyllis may know more than she claims. Phyllis and Kane's dynamic has officially turned combustible, seductive, suspicious, and primed to explode. And when the dust settles, Kane may realize too late that the one person who still believed in him watched him destroy his second chance with her in real time. For more of the latest updates and behind-the-scenes secrets from Young and the Restless, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell. Stay in the know with every new release.